Despite impressive box office numbers, Disney's live-action Lilo and Stitch remake, like many of its predecessors, is a hollow imitation of its animated counterpart. Promoted as a faithful adaptation, it instead delivers a stripped-down, thematically tone-deaf version that betrays the core message of the original, a poignant and subtle reflection on Hawaiian identity, exploitation, and cultural pride. The original film's deep connection to Hawaiian culture. The 2002 Lilo and Stitch wasn't just a quirky story about a girl and her alien dog. It was an intentional effort to highlight native Hawaiian culture in a way few Hollywood films ever had. From watercolor backgrounds, Disney's first since Dumbo, to rotoscoped hula dancing based on real footage from local schools, the film was crafted with care, humility, and respect. Though directors Chris Sanders and Dean Debois weren't Hawaiian themselves, they worked closely with Hawaiian actors like Tia Carrere, Nanny, and Jason Scott Lee, David, to embed genuine dialect, cultural nuance, and authenticity into the script. Their commitment went beyond aesthetic choices. Lilo and Stitch wasn't about tourists visiting paradise. It was about the people who lived there, their struggles, their values, and their communities. Lilo's daily life, her hula classes, David's fire dancing, and even the understated economic backdrop of a declining local economy painted a picture of a Hawaii rarely seen on screen. A tiny change that erodes everything. In the original film, a sharp but understated critique of tourism comes through in a montage of Lilo photographing sunburned, oblivious tourists. One particular figure, the ice cream tourist, became an iconic visual gag. But it wasn't just for laughs. The scene symbolized how locals often feel objectified, viewed by visitors not as people, but as part of the scenery. A deleted scene even deepened this idea, showing Lilo harassed by tourists, then faking a tsunami warning in a quiet act of rebellion. "If you lived here, you'd understand," she tells Cobra Bubbles. But in the remake, that moment is completely neutralized. The ice cream tourist is reimagined as a local Hawaiian. What Disney calls inclusive casting strips the moment of its original commentary. What once subtly critiqued tourism's impact on native populations now feels like a joke with no punchline, just another character, stripped of meaning. What was once resistance is now assimilation, erasing the local for the markable. The remake also undercuts the story's emotional backbone with its altered ending. Nanny's decision to leave Hawaii for a mainland university is framed as an empowering step forward, but it's completely disconnected from the socioeconomic reality of Hawaii, where the cost of living and displacement of Native people are very real, very urgent issues. For Nanny, choosing a local school like the University of Hawaii or the Hawaii Institute of Marine Biology would have made more sense, culturally, financially, and emotionally. The decision to send her to California not only contradicts the original's themes of family and rootedness, but reinforces a long-running assumption that anything outside Hawaii is inherently better. Worse still, it glosses over how often Hawaiians are forced to leave their homeland to pursue basic opportunities. This shift isn't just misguided, it's emblematic of how the remake treats its setting. Hawaii is reduced to a tropical backdrop for familiar Disney drama, ignoring the island's colonial history and current challenges. That matters, because the original film's most powerful message was about resilience, ohana as something local, cultural, and deeply personal. Now, that theme is sidelined in favor of a feel-good, sanitized message of moving on. Aesthetic without substance. In the 2002 film, even the animation style challenged Disney's usual formula. Artists were instructed to follow a Sanders-style rulebook, rounder edges, softer color palettes, and intimate environments. It was personal. The studio even found room in its tight budget to add a final 2 minutes of heartfelt animation, just because it felt right. Today's remake is anything but personal. It's calculated. The Hawaiian landscape becomes a brochure, complete with what feels like overt nods to Disney's Aulani Resort. The heart of the original, a unique expression of Hawaiian struggle, joy, and solidarity, is lost beneath layers of market-tested storytelling and brand protection. Conclusion: not just a remake, a missed opportunity. The 2024 remake of Lilo and Stitch isn't just another lifeless Disney update. It's an active step away from what made the original special. The loss of meaningful cultural critique, like changing the ethnicity of the ice cream tourist, isn't just a minor tweak. It's symbolic of a deeper erasure of the film's conscience. In a time when Hawaii faces unprecedented pressures from overtourism, land grabs, and cultural dilution, the original Lilo and Stitch stands as a rare moment of respectful representation in mainstream media. The remake, by contrast, feels like a brochure dressed as a movie, stripped of the soul, message, and integrity that made the original a beloved classic. If Disney wanted to bring Lilo and Stitch to a new generation, it had the blueprint. Instead, it chose to mute the message and sell the scenery. For many fans, especially Native Hawaiians, that's not just disappointing, it's deeply disrespectful.